The enhanced advance premium tax credit is set to expire after 2025 unless Congress acts. And there doesn't seem to be much chance of that happening. And here to talk with us about that is Jae Oh, author of Maximize Your Medicare. Jae, welcome.
Thanks for having me, Bob.
So, where to begin? Maybe with a little background?
Sure. The advanced premium tax credit was a provision of the Inflation Reduction Act. And those provisions were set to expire at the end of 2025 unless extended. And what they did is they lowered the health insurance premiums on healthcare.gov for people between something called the FPL, between a level of 150% and 400%. The issue now is that there doesn't seem to be much momentum at all to extend those enhanced premium tax credits. And when coupled with the uncertainty of health insurance premiums generally, planning probably today for that eventuality is probably a good idea.
Yeah. So if folks are among the millions who have taken advantage of the advanced APTC in the past, they could, at a minimum, see significant premium spikes in 2025?
Yes, I think that that's fair, Bob. So the headlines will read 20 million or so people around the country receive APTC as a whole. Some of those people won't be affected because of the fact that they may be lower than 150% of the federal poverty level, which is a number which depends on your family size, how many people in your household, and modified adjusted gross income. That said, there's no doubt the amount of discount has been enormous, helping many lower the cost of health insurance premiums. And sticker shock, I think, is quite predictable, yes.
Yeah. So when you mentioned sticker shock, are we talking people who are on the gold, silver, bronze plan seeing premiums of $1,000 plus a month?
Yes, I do think that is absolutely reasonable, Bob. I had written a research note for the Alliance for Lifetime Income, which detailed all of the ins and outs of the APTC as well as Medicare's IRMA. And the fact is, they very much rely on the rules and then that combined with your modified adjusted gross income. And so when you have these moving parts and one moves, as one seems to be at the end of 2025, then yes, people will be surprised because they have received very, very large discounts on their health insurance premiums in over the past couple of years.
Yeah. So you mentioned that now is the time to plan ahead to maybe manage your modified adjusted gross income and other things.
Yes, it opens the door to every other strategy. You've got lots of recordings and lots of articles, Bob, about many different topics. And this is the intersection of financial planning and ultimately to how much does it cost? And inflation being a number that reaches the headlines very frequently and warrants that. I understand that. That said, underneath the surface, just below the surface, is this cost, which can be very high, very variable, as well as very, very high. $10,000 a year for a married couple who are in their 50s, for example. Yes, that is possible.
Yeah. So we talked about maybe looking at the modified adjusted gross income side of things. It's also worth looking at the expense side. If all of a sudden you're going from, say, $500 or less a month in premiums to $1,000 a month, I've got to come up with $5,000, which may mean cutting discretionary expenses or maybe even essential expenses.
All of those things would come into play because usually when, as a financial planner, I center my first set of questions on how much does it cost? Meaning, how much does your life cost every day? And that if something challenges those assumptions, those inputs, if you will, then some reexamination very much in order. That's what I would think.
Yeah. And it seems like everything is on the table. If you were in a gold plan, you may need to look at a silver or bronze plan, perhaps, as a way to reduce your premium.
We are only talking about the financial part. We are not talking about the amount of probably misunderstanding about the way that health insurance works. And then on top of that, we've got obvious headline risk where carriers and prior authorization and other wonderful, headlines are crossing. So creating a high degree of uncertainty for sure.
So this is certainly a case where being forewarned is forearmed, perhaps.
I would think that that's always the case. I don't like it when I get a $5 charge on my credit card that I didn't realize that I didn't cancel some subscription. So the idea that I will have a $10,000 surprise against me, obviously worth some attention.
Yeah. Jay, anything we missed or anything that just bears reemphasizing?
No, I think that is it for today. I do think some planning is very much in order here. Like I said, I realize that the idea of Medicaid and the fact there's going to be other headlines which don't really seem like they affect you, but they do.
Yeah. One last question. Given that that it's set to expire, there's nothing that Congress really needs to do in order for that to happen. It just will happen by virtue of them doing nothing. Is that
The,
sort of?
the default position is for these enhanced APTCs to expire at the end of this year. Yes.
All right. Jay, thank you ever so much for sharing this with us. It's greatly appreciated to those millions of people who will be affected by this. So thank you.
Literally millions. Yes, that's right, Bob. Thank you.